tremendous looking trophy.
Welcome to the #1 PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias. My name's Dylan Blight. Joining me, Ashley Hogley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here. Pre-Dreams release.
Pre-Dreams release, damn right. It's an exciting time, and that's why in a trophy cabinet this week I've just wrote down Dreams for every bronze, silver, gold, and platinum because we should all be excited. Everyone should be excited. If you own a PlayStation, you should be excited. Dreams is fully out. If you didn't jump into early access, you should be excited because Dreams is out. Thursday, Australia time. I had to think about it just then. Now, as we just checked before we went live, we do get a full 24 hours before release, which, as of the day of recording, today is Tuesday, unlocks at 11 o'clock tonight. So it unlocks about 7 hours before the episode go live. Annoyingly, that's fine. 24 hours, got to get that 24 hours extra playtime for early access people to jump into it. But we will be talking about the remainder of the Dreams Impy Award nominees for Impy Game of the Year, Dream of the Year.
Yes.
Sorry. Dream of the Year. So we're going to be wrapping up talking about some of those because then we've got this whole thing. We've played all the ones that are nominated, and then when you pick up Dreams on Thursday, you'll be like, I'll play that one because they said it was good. Won't play that one because they said it was pretty meh. Blah, 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 blah. And get you all prepared for Dreams. And then you don't need to play any more video games for the rest of the year because
they're all in Dreams.
They're all in Dreams. Damn right.
They've all been remade in Dreams. It's a fact.
Fact. I didn't realize we only discovered last week that on the Dreams website you could see like stats and stuff, how many Dreams you played. And I didn't realize how many things I'd played. Did you think you'd played as many?
No, I think those have been boosted somehow, but maybe.
But the play hours, not the Dreams. Your play hours was definitely you've left it in standby.
Yeah, 200
and something hours. You have not played 200 something hours of Dreams. That was definitely boosted. But instead, I played like 100 and something things, which I'd believe. Like especially those nights where like I probably went through like several things in a 10-minute period quickly because I like jumped in. I'm like, nah. Jumped out, went to another thing. So I believe that, but
what was it? 339 different creations.
Yeah.
So
I believe it. It's pretty easy to go through stuff sometimes.
Yeah, and you could just be looking at like if you're dream surfing, it's just random stuff. It could just be like a static image that you're looking at.
Yeah. Yeah, floating wallpaper, some song with just a song that someone did with background, short film that goes for 30 seconds literally. Definition of short, but yeah. Before we come back to Dream, so let's news break. Oh no, PlayStation still hasn't done anything. No PS5 news is currently announced. I really wish it was. They're making this show hard. Poking with a stick. Do something, fuck you. That was your do something PlayStation segment for episode 100.
Thanks for that important update.
Thank you, Dylan. Let's jump into some PlayStation reviews. So PS5 gets a website, but it doesn't do anything. That's the most PS5 news we got. So Push Square wrote, here's a potentially interesting little story. It's not that interesting. Sony's added a PlayStation 5 page to its official PlayStation website, PlayStation.com. The page itself doesn't have much meat to it, but it does feature the previously revealed PS5 logo alongside the text that reads, PlayStation 5 coming soon, launches holiday 2020. Oh, the PlayStation 5 logo. Everyone get excited. It looks exactly like how we thought it would look, but there it is on an official website.
Yep.
Next gen's smelling good. I can see it through my web browser. It continues. We've begun to share some of the incredible features that you can expect from PlayStation 5, but we're not quite ready to fully unveil the next generation of PlayStation. Sign up below to be among the first to receive updates as we announce them, including news on the PS5 release date, PS5 price, and upcoming roster of PS5 launch games. We all know it's neck. Based on data that we've pulled from the site, this page was published, or at least heavily modified earlier today as of when I was writing this, the 4th of February 2020. Now, we're not saying this is anything to immediately get excited about, but given all the February reveal event rumors, and the recent PS5 trademarks, it's another small detail that suggests Sony is gearing up for something. The page says Sony isn't quite ready to fully reveal next-gen system, but that can mean anything at this point. The bottom line is that PS5 news is obviously coming. It's just a question of how and when. How will be even though we've moved the release date of this to accommodate PlayStation's rigorous news release schedule based on 2019. How will be directly after I finish recording this fucking show anyway, because they're going to be able to get me. And when is going to be after I'm done recording this. That is the answer to both of those questions. Now,
so congrats. You live in a world where the PS5 reveal has been announced.
Yeah, technically.
Probably.
Someone knows somewhere, so it doesn't mean it's technically announced at all points in time.
It was announced to the workers who will work on it.
Yeah. The question is, the question isn't set in stone. But yeah, so obviously, fucking when I saw that website, I was kind of annoyed because I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You're fucking posting a goddamn website here trying to, we're not ready to announce stuff soon. Okay, how about you don't just stop.
They just want to provide a service to inform people when it actually does get announced. They just need all those email addresses, Yeah. So you get that.
So they can leak the details.
I mean, they could have just sent it to every single person who's got a PlayStation account, but
That's also true. The other thing that's annoying me is that obviously there's all the rumors, and that's why each week I'm coming here for fuck's sake, do something. That's based on all the rumors. But it's annoying me now because instead of just coming out, if they're really not going to announce anything anytime soon, instead of coming out and just being like, look, we have no plans for anytime soon. It's not going to be a real reveal event in February. Everyone just fucking calm down. You're going to have to wait. Instead of just saying that, they're letting everyone flounder out here like Magikarp in the wind.
Mm.
I
mean, we rely on the speculation. So, I mean, if they doused it out, then what would we be able to talk about on this podcast?
Oh, I'll still yell about something, I'm sure. We'll find something. There's always something to yell about.
Nah, there's never anything to yell about.
No? No?
So hard to find things to yell about on the internet.
No, I think you're being sarcastic. Next story I have is from GameIndustry.biz. Sony paid $229 million for Insomniac. So this is, of course, they brought Insomniac last year, but quite interesting that we now know. Sony has revealed the price it paid to make longtime collaborator Insomniac Games part of the PlayStation family, according to a filing made today of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The acquisition of the studio cost Sony 240,892 yen, which is apparently 229 million roughly. Paid out mainly in cash, which you may be like, well, of course, yeah, but it means they didn't pay him in any stock assets or anything like that. Sony announced the deal last August following up on the success of Insomniac's PlayStation 4 exclusive Spider-Man game. At the time of the studio sale, the game had sold more than 13.2 million copies. Prior to the sale, Insomniac Games had worked closely with Sony for decades, blah, 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 doing Spyro, Ratchet & Clank, Resistance, etc., 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 and then they fucked off and did some other things. Now they're under the Sony umbrella. That's a whole heap of chunk of change. That's quite a lot, I would say. 229 million for a studio. That means they really wanted it. And they really should have probably just brought them 10 years prior when that was probably cheaper.
I mean, yes, especially when you consider that all the IP, I imagine Sony already owns. So you're just getting the studio and some smaller titles that weren't
ones they own. The ones Insomniac own themselves. Yeah. Like the Oculus things probably and whatever else.
But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot when you compare it to something like friggin' Disney buying Star Wars or these giant properties. But obviously Insomniac's a big, huge moneymaker, and I suspect they'll make that money back pretty quick.
Well, yeah.
They released another Spider-Man game, and then...
yeah, exactly. It's like, you look at the original Spider-Man numbers, 13.2, and then it's like, imagine the sequel will probably sell more because more people who weren't there day one for this one and who found it later picked it up later or waited for the sale end of the year, even late last year, I guess, Yeah. But possibly be there day one for the sequel, so... And often I think with video games, the sequels usually sell more than things. That's just the thing. People like to buy stuff they know. It's why new IPs don't do well. So it's like Spider-Man 2 from Insomniac Games. Here, 26.4 million. Double the thing. They've made all their money back. Good job, everyone. But of course, the other rumor that was going around last week was that Ratchet & Clank was going to be a launch game for the PS5. But I think that rumor was also pulled out of someone's ass and didn't have any credence to it at all. So I wouldn't add anything to that. There's all these rumors for launch.
Why not?
I mean, yeah, I'll take it. I love the.
Just give us a collection. Do the Ratchet & Clank collection. Just every single game in one package.
I mean,
because those PS3 games, you can't play them on the PS4.
Backwards compatibility for PS3 coming to the PlayStation 5. Everyone loses their mind. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I would prefer them just to remake the second one because I think the thing I like so much about the 2017 was it or 2016? I don't remember. One of those years. That one was because they remade it and they made the first one better because they changed Ratchet and Clank's relationship so they weren't like a grumpy old couple the entire game. So that was better. Sony's closing its studios, though, on top of news about how much they paid to buy one. They're closing the studio. So PlayStation will close its Manchester game studio rights, Games Industry.biz. The firm confirmed to Game Industry.biz that it intends to close it as part of our efforts to improve efficiency and operational effectiveness. We understand that the entire studio has been made redundant. Sony's Manchester team was formed to create VR games back in 2015. The firm had been working on an unannounced VR project. It is the third UK studio PlayStation has closed over the course of this generation, with Gorilla Cambridge closing in 2017 and Evolution in 2016. Both studios had also worked on PlayStation VR projects before being closed. The platform holder still operates two first-party development studios in the UK, namely Dreams developer Media Molecule and Blood and Truth creators London Studio. So obviously not good. I mean, I don't know how, because it says they believe they were all made redundant. So I guess we don't know. They could have rolled them back into other places,
Team London or whatever. Yeah.
It's like I don't know if they have like a good like, you know, like a system set up where it's like we are making you redundant like as a studio, but like we've got an in-house system set up to help, like this team's looking for jobs over here at them, and you know, go work on Blood and Truth 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
That studio has been called, but yeah, obviously not good. And obviously also when they say that it's all VR games, that people are just going to start yelling about the fact that it's like VR games is causing the death of people, but I don't think that's exactly it, you know, so it could be a number of things. And of course we know that they're not giving up on VR because they keep reiterating and putting other studios on VR stuff, and they just made someone the head of Japan studio who's known for VR stuff, really. Yeah. So I don't think that's what it means, but unfortunate nonetheless, obviously, as well. So interesting news this morning that dropped as of recording that we'll go over because it's fucking quite funny after the story that dropped late last week. So the back information to this story that makes it so funny to me is that late last week there was a story going around that lots of people posted about, but I wasn't going to talk about because I'm like, whatever. But it was that in Anthem, people were posting about how they booted up the game recently and they found that all the Christmas decorations in game were still up in February. Yeah. Like they hadn't taken them down, like no one's going in and touching the game. And that was funny, and everyone was like making fun of it, of course. And I was like, I'm not going to tell. Like, I feel like I'm kicking a dead horse at this stage. You know what I mean?
Also, my favorite joke is you think that's crazy? The Christmas lights in Division are still up from launch.
The first one. They're up launched. Yeah, that was a funny joke as well. So following all this up though, it seems the reason for all of this is that Anthem is getting an overhaul and no one's bothering to touch the current live edition of the game. So IGN writes, BioWare General Manager Casey Hudson announced in a new blog post that the developers at BioWare will be redesigning Anthem that will reinvent the core gameplay loop. The efforts is meant to be a larger overhaul Anthem instead of just a series of updates and expansions. In the official BioWare blog post, Hudson thanks readers for 1 year of Anthem, a game he says, quote, represented a big leap in new territory for us as a studio. Hudson acknowledged that since launch there have been critical feedback from fans saying Anthem, quote, needs more satisfying loot experience, better long-term progression, and a more fulfilling endgame. Continuing to say, over the coming month, we will be focusing on a longer-term redesign of the experience, specifically working to reinvent the core gameplay loop with clear goals, motivating challenges, and progression with meaningful rewards, while preserving the fun of flying and fighting in a vast sci-fi fantasy setting. To do this, Hudson says the developers at BioWare will be, quote, doing something we'd like to have done more of in the first time round, giving a focused team the time to test and iterate, focusing on gameplay first. This is a rare admission that during the initial development of Anthem, the team wasn't able to test and iterate features as much as they would have liked, which would explain some of the criticisms that Anthem's loot and progression felt shallow and undercooked. By the description, Anthem's new developer plan says look like Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn, a game with similar launch issues that reworked into something almost like an entirely new game. So yeah, this is obviously, it's interesting just from the point of, I guess for a lot of people, the question was always going to be, do they just cancel Anthem and let it die and like go work on Mass Effect and, you know, call it a day kind of thing? But they are doubling down, which I'm intrigued to find out how they got there, considering we know it doesn't seem like a decision EA would have probably been happy with. And I wonder how much they had to like, look, you don't let us do this, we're all gonna quit and you won't get any fucking Dragon Age, you know, like like how was their push pull to get permission to do this, I guess, because it doesn't and then also the Final Fantasy XIV Realm Reborn reference is quite a good one, because that is actually a really good point. That game got horribly reviewed when it first came out, and then they rebooted it as a Realm Reborn, being the key word in the title of that. And now of course a lot of people love and play that game quite a lot. So then you have to wonder how long they're going to be given to do this Anthem update, because they currently just have a live version of the game that's still sitting on store shelves, even if it's only selling for like $5. But it's still sitting out there on store shelves. People are still buying it, and they're going to be going up, picking up and buying a game where they jump in and Christmas decorations are still up because no one gives a fuck about the game at the moment because they're too busy trying to rework it. You know, it's like it's an interesting thing where it's like a game could be selling full price, finished on a shelf, while the team is remaking it off on the side. You know what I mean? Like
it's not full price for a start.
Well, yeah, no one's everyone. It's RRP's full price, but everyone's selling it for $5.
Yes. I'm sure I'd be interested to look at like the PlayStation Store and like digitally how much they're still selling it for. But it's interesting that they're trying to push this. I don't know how financially it works. Like with Final Fantasy, it's like a subscription model, right?
Yeah.
Like you pay like a monthly fee to play for it.
Yeah.
So they're kind of guaranteed to make that money back from subscriptions. Whereas Anthem, everybody's already paid for the game. Mm-hmm. So how are they going to recoup all their costs that they're putting into remaking?
I guess
unless it's going to be a re-release and you need to buy a patch or something, which will piss a lot of people off.
Yep, that will not go down well.
Or it's just going to be like super microtransaction heavy, I guess. But then that'll piss a lot of people off. Or maybe EA is like, hey, we're just going to have to take the financial hit on this and just put out something that'll be critically liked. And then maybe the people come back to the game and spend money.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess that option A of them charging for the rebranded re-release, that can't happen because no one would buy it. Everyone would spit it, and that would not go over well at all. No. Microtransactions could be a thing if done well, to the point where I'm sure some people would still complain, but others would probably just understand. Like if they release the update for free and a lot of people jump back in and they really like it, and then they're like, oh, I do actually like this. Yes, I'll pay $10 to get this fucking gold cape or some shit, you know?
Yes.
Like, random microtransaction cosmetic shit like that. That would be an okay thing.
I mean, I'm sure people still put money into Destiny too, like microtransaction wise.
Yeah. 100%. But everyone likes Destiny too. I feel like, so I guess that's different. Most people
you
like
couldn't
Destiny.
you couldn't put it like, you couldn't say it's an expansion and like,
no,
that's how they know. And put it behind the paywall, yeah.
You can't say it's expansion. You definitely can't say it's expansion after putting out a blog post saying you're reworking the game.
Yeah, that's true.
Like remaking it. I guess the third option is they re-release it, do the remake, hope everyone loves it, hope it gets good word of mouth, hope that gets old players returning, hope it gets new players in for the first time, and then have a expansion released that they want people to buy after. Like, get them back in and then hope and take the loss on that, and then just hope that the following content people will pay for, following expansions and stuff. I feel like the microtransactions one's probably the most likely and probably the middle ground of options here that would work best for what's going to happen. And as long as the microtransactions are what I'm saying, like gold capes and cosmetic shit, and not here, hey, do you want to pay $100 to unlock everything straight away? And be like, no, because EA is known for that, obviously, in quite a lot of stuff. Although Apex Legends microtransactions are good, but it's a known thing that Respawn apparently just has a tight hold over EA to the point where they're like, you're going to tell us what to do, EA, shut the fuck up. Like, we do what I want. We do what we want, all right?
You
cannot tell us. So, yeah, we don't know how long they'll take.
I don't know.
I would guess, obviously, towards the end of the year, though.
Do you think it's going to work? I mean, it's interesting that a lot of these games do get better the longer the cycle is. They're probably at their best towards the end of people's interest in them. It's also, I guess it's kind of interesting this week. The Fallout 76 news finally dropped that they're releasing that Wastelanders
finally
update. So whether people flock back to that game after however long, because it's finally more like the game that people wanted at the start. But yeah,
we'll see. I think the Wastelanders thing could have potentially just taken too long at this point. Which I guess is going to similar thing for Anthem. I feel like if they take too long, they have to reach a middle ground between spending as much time, the time needed to fix it, but also being like, we cannot spend too long, or people will just be like, we don't care. We really just don't care now.
I mean, all we're saying is pick up that $5 copy of Anthem and store it away.
Yeah. Especially with the next gen consoles coming, it's like you can't release it towards the end of the year.
I guess you could sell like a full price PS5 version.
I guess.
Or next gen console version.
Still be dodgy. Slightly.
I maybe, but I mean, they have to make the money back somehow, and if it's somehow graphically improved, like on PS5 or Xbox, whatever it's called,
it's called the Xbox, though.
The competition, I'm sure EA will want to.
It's in the game. Yeah. Well, find out soon. Alright, let's get into talking about a whole bunch of Dream stuff. So we're going to go through the six runners up for Dream of the Year. Last week we talked about the winner of Dream of the Year, of course, Pick Detective 2 Trouble in Cowboy Town. Massive game. This week we're talking about the runners up. We're going to go through them all, give you our thoughts on them, and if you should check them out when Dreams drops on Thursday, of course. And I also want to say that I did tweet it out on the Explosion Epic account the other day, of course, but I think I'm going to start putting in the show notes for this as well, which is that I fixed the... What do they call it in game? It's like a playlist, basically. It's like a collection. I think it's a collection in game.
Yeah, collection.
Yeah. So if I've fixed the collection thing where I've got the games that we talked about previously, and then I've added all these games, of course, because we're talking about them, and then going forward, any other future things that we talk about on Dreams games that we talk about on here, they'll get added to that collection. So you can, when you get Dreams, you go to the link, or you could go to it now, I think, and just sign in with your PSN account on the Dreams website. And then you click like follow it now, and then when you get the game, it's all set up to go. But follow that collection, and then you'll be able to find the games we talk about easily without having to search for them. So that's a nifty little thing. And because it's a website-based thing, if you click on the link in the show description, it'll go to the website, and then you can literally just click play this game. Like you can, there's like a watch later queue kind of thing set up in Dreams, like play later queue, which is handy. Like I was looking for it even the other day, and because you can start following creators, and they'll pop up with notifications and be like, oh, someone that you follow has posted a new game. So then I clicked on that and clicked add to play later queue. I'm like, oh, this is all quite easy and handy to do via the web browser these days. So that's good. Anyway, let's jump into the first one of these. So the first game is called Topher Thebes and Thebes? Topher Thebes and the Enchanted Crystal by Verbal Creative. So this game is about a crystal magic thing, and it has a rather long opening cutscene, I'll say, and like voice acted and all sorts of stuff happening. So that's quite cool. But it's like in this different land, and then they basically seek out a hero to come protect the crystal because some bad guy's trying to take it over. That sort of like typical.
No, it's fantasy. Corrupted the crystal, needs a champion to come and rescue the realm. That kind of a story. I guess
it sounds like Zelda, really. So this little Navi like thing, if we're going with the Zelda reference, then travels to the human land and seeks out someone to come save the land and the crystal, and they find Topher Thebes, which is a young child of, I would guess, 5 to 7 years old or something, is how
pretty young.
What I assumed. And the opening cutscene does have a funny part where this little crystal, what is the thing? It's like a little glowing circle thing. I don't even know. It comes into the house, and it's like, hey, come save the world and all this stuff. And it keeps calling the thing where it took over. It took over this like doll in the boy's room or something.
Some sort of toy,
Yeah, some sort of toy, and it took it over. And then the kid keeps just calling it the toy's name. And the being's like, no, I'm such and such. And then eventually the thing gives in. It's like, yes, I am TikTok. TikTok or whatever. And it's like, okay. It's like, do you want to come help us, Topher Thebes? And Topher goes, okay. But which, by the way, I was trying to work it. I'm like, whoever's doing this little kid's voice is doing a decent job because it's got the like the voice acting in this one wasn't actually bad between
it's pretty solid
kid and the monster, the bad dude thing, and then the whatever else, the narrator and stuff going on. This game's voice acting is a lot better than any of the voice acting in Cowboy Town, I gotta say.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to the gameplay, when you finally get to it, it's a combination of, I guess, puzzles, sort of, and platforming. But I hated the platforming. It was real floaty, and I found it really hard to jump onto these moving platforms, and I died a lot of times in a row trying to do it, to the point I was just getting really annoyed. And I would rank this at the bottom of the full list of 7 games for sure, solely because the platforming annoyed me quite a bit. And I was enjoying the opening cutscene. I was like, cool, I'm into this. Let's go. Look, this kid saving the world type storyline. Let's go. And then I was like, this platforming is annoying me. How did you feel about it?
I mean, it was enjoyable enough. It feels like a old school like platformer, like a 3D. Mm-hmm. Obviously, like of the Banjo-Kazooie kind of era, but obviously not as like involved. A lot of the puzzles were simple-ish and kind of just involved button spamming at certain points to open up different locks and things. Again, the platforming, some of it was a bit difficult. Like I think I got stuck at like this bridge that you need to jump across that closes. Apparently, you need to double jump and then attack, and that slightly pulls you across a little bit further so you can make the jump. I mean, it's animated well. Obviously, it's a big level that you play through the first time, so it's pretty impressive. And like a lot of these games, it's just part 1. So
well, we'll say that now. A lot of these end with more coming soon, or like part 1, or follow for updates and stuff like that. And that's kind of or one of them actually has a full finish, but I think a lot of the reason Cowboy Town Run is because it's a full experience.
It's complete. Yeah,
it has a start, it has a story, it has a gameplay structure, it has like a 3-act system sort of, and then the game's over, and then it's finishes, even if the last act seems very rushed. So a lot of these say coming soon, but also it's like compared to a lot of other games we talked about in the early days of Dream's early access stuff, all these ones we're talking about here that were nominated for Dream of the Year, they're all like, I don't want to say like quote unquote real games, because obviously that's like, I don't know, like everyone's trying their own thing, but it's like obviously they've had a lot of work put into them, and you don't know how much time just these little sections that we're talking about took to fucking make, because they you gotta think legit.
all those things are made in with the controller.
Fucking move controllers, whatever else is going on. So as much as I wanted to like this, unfortunately I cannot say I would suggest playing it, because the platforming I really could not dislike it more. The next one is called Wind Up by Fireburn 2. This is an isometric hack and slash adventure game, I guess. Would that sound about right, I guess? Yeah.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, so you play as like this little wind-up toy. It's where the wind-up comes. There's no like build-up to the story or any like explanation really of what's happening. The game kind of just starts.
Just gets dropped in,
Yeah, it's like you're in a dungeon, you're playing as this wind-up toy, you've got a needle something, or like a pin, I guess is a sort. And then you start coming across these enemies, which are wind-up other sorts of toys, and you start beating them. They're easy. And then you progress further and you get to a stage where you're fighting against them, toy soldiers, like green toy soldiers, like think like Toy Story ones. They're shooting at you. There's jack-in-boxes that pop out and they like throw homing missile type stuff at you. Fireballs, and you have to use like bombs and stuff like that, and you basically progress and you take down the enemies and you make your way to the boss, and this boss is a big ass bird, and you beat the boss, and then you get a coming soon more. Hopefully it comes. They have a lot of structure. Like, I'll say though, in general, I enjoyed playing this game. I thought the gameplay was fun. It's got this dark visual style that's cool. Like it looks like if you showed this and was like, this isn't from Dreams, I guarantee a lot of people would be like, well, this looks cool, this looks interesting. And I think that's actually a thing for a lot of these games. Not all of them, because I think one we'll talk about later is very much like a Dreams game, like a meta Dreams game, obviously. But this one you could show it to people and be like, well, this is a game, I want to play this looks fun. But they have this like town sequence right before you kind of go off towards fighting the bird, and there's obviously a shop there. I never used the shop. You told me you never used the shop because it's like...
Well, you didn't have enough orbs.
Yeah.
To be able to buy anything.
I guess you would have to go like farm, like kind of walk in, kill stuff, walk out to reset the enemies.
I don't think there was any resetting though.
Yeah, there was. I accidentally reset them because I left the screen and came back. But why you would have to do that anyway, because unless you're really struggling to beat the bird, I guess. But I suppose... in the full game, if this game got finished and fully expanded over the next fucking year, I guess it would take them to add enough levels to have a full experience. But if they did that, then the shop would be like at different points, and that could be like a hub between the different like levels, I guess, or something like that. And that would
I assume that castle is like the hub.
Yeah, between different sections or something. Yeah, so that would make a lot more sense. But as it stands in this version, with only that one section or level or whatever we're going to call it, where you go fight the bird boss, it's like the shop seems a bit silly. But overall, I really like this. Did you like this one?
Yeah, like visually, it's very impressive, and like it's cool. Worlds, like obviously, it's like some sort of toy setting. I guess maybe it's like an outdoor, maybe it's like a kid's backyard or something. Obviously,
it's like,
with like
Bloodborne with kids' toys.
Yeah, because there's like strewn toys all over the place, and obviously a big battle is a bird. There were a couple issues and that kind of stuff. I think when I walked back into the castle, all my orbs were reset, so I couldn't buy anything in the shop. That's the main reason. And then like the bird would be constantly caught behind a wall, I don't know if you had this problem, so you couldn't like actually attack it because it was stuck.
My main problem with the bird was at first I thought I was doing no damage to it because I was
the health bar was weird.
The health bar was weird, and it didn't it needed to react to when you hit it to like let you know that you're actually doing damage, like visually,
like some sort of visual,
visual thing to add to explain, like if the health bar even started just like bouncing, like or pulsing, I guess, or something like that when you hit it, just something like that. So I knew what was going on because at first I thought I was using bombs, I was hitting it, I'm like, I'm doing fucking nothing. How the fuck am I supposed to beat this goddamn bird? And then I just kept wailing on it, and then the health bar slowly started going down. I realized it was going down somewhat. I'm like, oh, it's actually gone down a little bit. Okay, I guess I'll just keep hitting it, and we got there eventually. Yeah. But yeah, at first I was like, this is weird.
Obviously because of the design of it, where it's growing from the ends in, like middling, obviously you don't notice it as much. Until it gets
smaller, and then you can
Until it gets smaller, you go, oh yeah, it's actually smaller, yeah.
Yeah. So, but otherwise, I'll say this is good. I enjoyed it. I haven't died in it, so
yeah,
it's not like super easy, I guess.
No, yeah, cool design. I was like the couple of different characters and stuff in there as well. Like just like walk up to some person, they text, but
yeah,
still cool.
There's a good Jack in the Box right before you get on the bridge to go down to the bird thing. You walk up to it and it pops out and it says, "Boo, did I scare you?" I was like, yeah, because I thought he was a fucking bad guy. It's going to hit you. Come on. Yeah. The next one is called Mimeo Prophecy by Razor Baxwee. Yeah, sure. This one is a what's that game that everyone always points out? Like this sort of RPG game. There's like a Nintendo.
Homebound? Mother?
What would you say first?
Homebound?
Yeah, I think something like that. Or one of those things. I don't know. But it's basically that.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's struggling. It's so it opens with this cutscene about this professor like doing some experiments in a building somewhere. And so something goes off. Obviously, it's like, oh no, it's alive. Not quite that, but stuff happens, and then it cuts to you, and you play as this kid who's just woken up, and then you go downstairs and you talk to your sister, and you're like, oh, something crazy happened at the, I don't know, like the building.
Earthbound.
Earthbound. That's it. That is the game. Yeah,
Sorry,
that's what this is. It's Earthbound type RPG. Is what this is. So it's like, oh, something crazy is happening. What are we gonna go have a look, find out what's happening, this sort of thing. So you're like, oh, sister, go meet up with these people, do this. You start walking around the town. You start looking around, and you can talk to a whole bunch of people and see what's up. Random things are happening, but then you go over to your friend's place and you talk with them, and by the end of the game, after doing a whole bunch of stuff, you end up in the actual building where the experiment stuff was happening, and mini puzzle in there, I guess. The game does introduce the idea of how combat would work, but it's only tutorial. You never actually fight any like actual battles unless I missed one myself. But
no.
And then by time at the end, this big flash happens, and you set off a trap in this lab basically, and then like other stuff, it says to be continued when we get more. But for what's here, I'm like, there's a lot. Like this town is quite big.
Is huge.
There's a lot of
rooms.
Yeah, there's a lot of rooms. There's lots of AI, NPC characters walking around, interacting and doing stuff. The town feels good. You know, like the town feels lived in, legit, well designed and all that sort of stuff. The dialogue was good between the characters. It's not voice acted. It's was it?
Text only. No.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it was. It's just all text only, but that's fine, obviously, because we're learning that Dream's voice acting is very hit and miss between people who trying to make their voice acting careers happen. But yeah, the writing was good and all that. I enjoyed the banter between the characters. The game also has a good doggo in it, so it's automatically jumped up the
You can pet the dog. There is a button that's constantly on screen that lets you pet the dog.
Yep. So important, the game does let you pet the dog, if that Twitter handle wants to know. You can pet the dog in Mimeo Prophecy on Dreams, available Thursday. Get it out
Thursday.
Yeah. And then the one battle section you do is like against this sister of one of the other
Girl.
characters, I guess, is what it was, or something. Oh,
It was
he
an
lives in an
orphan girl.
orphanage. So yeah, well, I guess it's still like orphans. So if that's, I
don't know enough about orphans.
Neither do I, sorry, but
Orphanages.
the system. But yeah, you do battle against her. She's like in a toy tank. You get a toy sword. So a lot of this stuff was reminding me of Costume Quest, kind of, where you're like fighting with made up weapons that actually shouldn't do anything, but they're actually toys. Which makes me wonder if the game continued. I'm like, are we getting transported to a different plane or something? And then like suddenly these toy weapons are going to become legit weapons or some shit like that. But yeah, do combat, and it's like live combat, like you're supposed to dodge in real time, and
yeah, it's an action RPG style.
Yeah,
like hack and slash-ish kind of combat. Yeah, it was an interesting world. Obviously, very cool designs and that kind of thing, and like big. It was like a bit of a slog to get through the story, but I was hoping to get some more actual gameplay. But obviously, that's coming.
Yeah, this is all set up.
Yeah, it was all set up, which is a bit disappointing. And then there was a little bit of a like puzzle element, I guess, in the laboratory towards the end, but
yeah, not really.
It's just find things on the ground. Keep walking around until triangle comes up. But yeah, keen to see what it becomes in the future.
It's the thing that interests. Well, what this made me think about the most is for people who are creating Dreams games and they want to create something big. I would say if you legit sit there, like if you're taking your game serious, and especially if you're someone who's like, I want to be a game designer one day, I'm like using Dreams as a way to like practice my ideas and potentially get a job because it's possible, you know. Like I would say if I sat down and you had Mimeo Prophecy mapped out in front of you and you're like, section 1 is like this is the tutorial prologue-y type section of the game. Section 2 is over here. And that game is more action orientated and whatever. I would have built that first, you know, and just dropped people in, skipped all this, and then you could have potentially got more intrigue, I guess, because it would be more action heavy, and then go back and build this. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because obviously this is all set up, and it makes you go, okay, where's the action? Whereas maybe if it was all action...
Well, maybe they were keen to build the world. That's the story part is the most interesting part to them, so... Maybe. Whatever.
I guess.
Yeah. I think the most time-consuming thing would be building the world, and like, obviously there's a lot of rooms and that kind of stuff. Dreams was like chugging a little bit at certain points, like loading... rooms.
We'll get to a game that
a lot
causes
of assets and stuff.
Chug in a minute. There's fucking the game after this is causes dreams to chug quite a bit. But yeah, I mean the town's big. There's lots of stuff happening in it. Lots of different little bits of whatever else, and NPCs walking around and all sorts of shit happening. So yeah, it's quite interesting, and I'd play more. I want to play more when it comes. I'd continue the story. I was enjoying this Earthbound experience because that's the game that we definitely know that it's called now. Next one was called Ruckus, and that was by Morishiro 1935. So this is Godzilla, basically. I mean, it's a Godzilla. This is the
Rampage.
Yeah, this is the most simple game of all of the nominees that they had in this whole thing here, because it is literally just like giant monster, town, smash buttons to break shit. Fucking, you've got laser beam breath, go ham. But also, I think this is visually one of the best Dreams games I've seen. And I think that comes down to a really good use of lighting effects and lots of different things. Because even just as you approach the town, it's like overhead you've got this helicopter flying over you, and that's like lights are got everywhere. Suddenly you're blowing stuff up and there's lots of particle effects. You start using your laser breath, and that's obviously a different sort of effect. The monster's tail like kind of glows. Obviously the town has all these buildings lit up and all sorts of stuff like that. It was really cool how it would flick between the monster, and then it would like come up and show you the helicopter above, and like breaking news report, like monsters rampage still continues through downtown, and all this sort of stuff. And then, like, once you begin the rampage and you start breaking shit left, right, and center, and shit's exploding everywhere, this game is the most I've seen Dreams struggle with. Because once you start breaking stuff and there's just so much stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's just like Dreams is like, that is a lot of particles. That's lots of stuff happening on the screen right now. I'm starting to chug through this one. But I had fun with this. It took like 10 minutes or whatever to do. And it's not the sort of thing you'd probably return to. But as a like thing that, especially if you're picking up Dreams on Thursday and you're looking for like a good example of like, here's just a fun thing you can play in 10 minutes. It's really solid. It's a full experience that you're just going to have fun fucking breaking shit as a monster. This is fun. I did enjoy it. How'd you feel about this one?
Yeah, this is like the most like pick up and play experience I think on Dream so far. Like, obviously I'd seen it before. Like, I think it picked up a little bit of traction earlier in the year or last year. But yeah, it's a lot of fun just jumping around, destroying stuff. If they wanted to, they could add more elements, but I think based on stats, they stopped working on it around October, maybe to work on something else. But yeah, I had a good time. It's cute design, obviously for the monster, and then like even the voice acting, which isn't great, is
it did
like
the job because
it's fun. Handy. It's like for the tone of the game, and like cutting away to like this city news or whatever. Yeah, it was cool. I wish there was like more objectives and maybe something like that. Something to like make me want to replay it again.
It's always just a score.
It's just a score thing.
Which is like,
what's
you can try and get a combo.
What are the rules for the score?
I think if you broke shit fast, you'd start getting a multiplier, and then obviously the multiplier you break more while the multipliers are going. Get a high score there, but also there's no like leaderboard system, so
no. And then there are like little things like I cut down half of this building. I wish it would like topple over like that way instead of but like sideways. But no, it just falls all vertically. So, which I'm guessing is like a restriction of Dreams more than anything else.
I don't really know. Like, is it the restriction of Dreams or is like
it's like very difficult to work out?
Yeah, very difficult.
How every single building is going to fall depending on what bricks you break out of it. But yeah, that fire breath or what laser breath that was cool.
That was cool.
Yeah, it's just a cool game. It's like fun little experience. It's fun breaking stuff.
Yeah, exactly. The next one is called Pip Gemwalker, and it was made by ManChickenTurtle. I think this is also one of the most complete experiences because it does have, even though it's only got 7 levels, I think it was 6 or 7. 6 or 7 levels. 7. It has 7 levels in the game, but it then is basically like, here, just fucking make your own levels. Like, at this stage, after you've beat the game, just download
the assets.
Here's the assets, download them. Just go make your own levels now. You've seen how they're made. Go for go for gold type of thing. But so this game is also quite funny and has a really cute character because it starts with a slothy hanging off a tree and being a sloth, and then this gem drops from the sky and it pops up. It says Super Speed Ruby, and then little cutie Slothy jumps off the tree and starts walking towards it, and it's like 10 minutes later. Skips ahead. It's like halfway there. 10 minutes later, a little bit closer to the gem. Finally picks up the gem. Oh, Slothy gets the power to move fast.
It's such a good opening.
Yeah, it's quite a funny opening cutscene. It was really good. And then the game is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Treasure Tracker, yeah.
That's basically what the game is. It's so you're walking around these sort of these levels. Squares, yeah, they're just kind of hovering in the fucking sky. And you use the left stick to walk, and then the right stick you use to rotate around. And you can obviously, it's like Treasure Trove, you could design levels where secrets are like hidden, and you have to like look at the right angle to find them and whatever else. But in general, to beat each level, you just have to find X amount of gems, and they appear as X's on the walls and these sorts of things when you find them, and you walk up to them and click square to hack them out. And
or if you kill an enemy, they get a gem.
Oh yeah, the gem from the enemies.
So you can get more gems than the
that are necessary. Yeah. 100% those levels. go for the 100%.
Get those extra gems,
Those extra gems, but in general, this was fun. Obviously, as soon as I started the game, I was just like, oh, this is so inspired by Captain Toad Treasure Tractor. But the character design of the sloth is also very cute, so that made it fun, especially after the opening cutscene. The only one thing that annoyed me was climbing these fucking ladders, because you had to hold L1 for some reason. And I'm like, why do I have to hold L1 to climb the ladders? Like, why can't I just walk the fucking ladders or something? You know, like holding L1 and I'm trying to jump off them and click X at the same time. Like, Jesus Christ. But yeah.
So difficult.
Yeah, it was annoying me. That's my one little nitpick, I suppose. And obviously, as you play through the levels, they introduce different things, enemies, things that are shooting rockets for you to dodge and figure out how to get around them and whatever else. So it introduces the elements of the game slowly to you, and then by the end it's like, okay, just go make your own now. Like, here's the slothy character, have fun, go for gold, which I guess is like, you know, sort of in the spirit of Dreams. So
Dreams, yeah.
Fits. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I think it's fun. You've got enough levels here that will take you half an hour or more, I guess, depending on how long you struggle to beat them. To beat them all, and really cute sloth character. I did enjoy the slothy.
Yeah, very cute. Very easy, like enjoyable puzzle game. Like there was certain things that I think there was like one level that took a while to get through, but most of them are pretty breezy and easy to figure out. Introduce some sort of robot character that just has sole purpose is to blow up certain things. But yeah, it's a fun little puzzle game to distract you for a little while. Levels are cute. The design is cute. Yeah, it's a cool game.
Yep. And then the last one from the Dreams nominees for Dream of the Year was Opposite Day 2 Regular Day by MrCaseyJones. Have not played Opposite Day 1. I don't think that's important at all. And I don't know if there was actually an Opposite Day 1 at all by the time I finished this game. So this game is complete. This is like a full experience that you'll get. And I guess it's obviously, I'd say, inspired by like Stanley Parable Effect and these sorts of comedy games. Walking quote-unquote simulator type puzzle thingies or whatever you want to call those. Because as soon as you start the game, it's just like text everywhere, and it's like, walk through this door. Oh, pick a door to walk through. Oh, lol, they both went the same way anyway. And then the second thing's like, oh, press these buttons in the right order to make sure you do them correctly. And then you press them all, and then it's like, it doesn't matter what order you press them in, and then the door opens anyway. And then after a while, spoilers, you quickly beat Opposite Day 2, and then you end up in another game, which is Opposite Day 3, and that's a bigger, more open section, whereas the first part of the game, Opposite Day 2, is feels like very Stanley Parable effects, like this, just these corridors and like it's inside a building type thing. And then when you get to Opposite Day 3, which is the game inside a game, it's like this big open area, and there's like lots of funny things to find, and including a part where it says stand here on this X for 5 minutes and nothing will happen. And I'm like, fuck it, I've got time, I'll see if anything happens. And I stood on the X, and then another message pops up and it's like, nah, nothing's gonna happen, do you want to wait 5 more minutes to find out? And I'm like, nah, fuck you. At this point I'm done, fuck you. This was funny. I thought this was, I enjoyed the humor and the trolly nature of it. It was good fun, I thought. Do you like this one?
Yeah, it was a good time. Even from a like design perspective, I don't know how they would have done it in Dreams, where if you look a certain direction, then your background, they like remove whatever's behind it, so the door or whatever disappears from behind you. It was placed with like text telling you crap or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. I think it's got an amusing payoff at the end.
Yep.
I wish there was like an exit screen or something, but I didn't know if there was
like
going to be another.
Yeah.
There was going to be another gag or something, but yeah, it was an amusing like 20 minutes, I guess.
Yeah.
Depending on how much you explore and that kind of thing. The world in Opposite Day 3 is quite large, so there's a lot of little jokes you can look in on. So yeah, it was fun, and the voice acting was good for what it was.
Yeah, good for it wasn't terrible.
Fit, yeah,
it was funny. With the two characters that they have, Yeah, and I don't know. By the time we got to the end, I mean, I'd say people go play this one if you're picking up Dreams on Thursday because it's funny. But I will spoil the ending because it's just slightly because it ends with these two characters just laughing on loop. Ha ha ha!
Yeah,
ha, ha, ha. And it's like, and they tell you, they literally says like, we're not going to quit the game. And it comes up like, you should probably just quit yourself. It's like, but you sit there, you're like, surely it's going to come up and be like game over or something. It's like, no. You have to you have to quit the game yourself. There's no end screen. You just sit there forever hearing ha 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 on loop. I'm like, okay, that's funny. I had one. I did have a bug happen though, so that it didn't ruin my experience, but it was annoying. Which was that text got stuck on my screen from like in opposite day 3. I walked into this pizza dude or whatever, and it's like press something to say no to accept the job, or press X 50 times to not take the job. And I started spamming X because I'm like, fuck you, I'm gonna press X 50 times. I'll do this shit. And I started pressing it, but then the text got stuck on my screen for the remainder of the game from then on.
Wait, were you pressing X like in a general place, or you were pressing X in like the spot
in front of him?
Because I did that, and you had to be standing in a certain spot, like pressing the button or whatever.
Well, I did it while standing in front of him, I thought, so, and it wasn't doing anything. But then even if I feel like even if you give up,
maybe you didn't hit 50 times.
Maybe, but even if you give up at that point, like you'd think if you walk away, the text should obviously.
No, that's not this game.
Disappear off the screen or something. Yeah, so that I don't know.
No.
Maybe it isn't a bug. Maybe that's part.
Maybe you played it wrong. Yeah,
maybe I played the game wrong.
There was a bunch of like little gags, like don't press L3. It doesn't do anything. Like anytime you press
R3, don't press R3 either. Press L3
press
and
R3
R3 at the same time. Don't press those.
Don't press
together.
those. Yeah.
So that's funny. And they're things you just find by pressing buttons yourself. It's like there's no like hint. Oh, you press these for a joke type thing. So I did quite enjoy this one, and it is it's half an hour tops, I guess, depending if you was like taking it like as a leisurely kind of thing. But half an hour full, quite funny experience if you're into those taller games.
Yeah, apparently he's up to opposite day 7, so there's lots of opposite days to catch up on. Opposite
day 7 is probably the first one though.
No.
We'll find out. So that is all of the nominees. And the winner we went through obviously last week. If you had to pick one that was your favorite from the whole bunch, which one do you reckon you would pick?
Maybe Ruckus. I mean, that was a fun little game that sort of is very pretty and like interesting user dreams. But I guess that's kind of like inspired by something. I guess they're all inspired by something. So yeah, I'd say Ruckus. I enjoyed that one the most.
I actually reckon I would pick, as much as I was saying before about they should have built the first level, second level first or something. But I'd actually say Mimeo Prophecy, because that was the one by the time it said, hopefully more's coming soon. I was like, oh, actually, okay, I'd play more. Like that was the one I felt the most like, I want more.
It's like, oh no, it's ended.
I was like, I was getting into this. I was enjoying my little group of kid characters on a mission with the doggo friend and gonna go save the world or something. I don't know what's gonna happen next, but that was the one that intrigued me the most, I guess. But also I'm saying, like, I guess I'm picking what one I enjoyed the most, where I guess if I was voting for the actual Impy award itself, it's hard to argue with picking Cowboy Town, obviously, because it is a
complete
full experience story and whatever else. So I guess if I wasn't picking Cowboy Town and I had to pick from one of these to win, I'd probably end up picking Opposite Day 2. Possibly.
Yeah.
Or no,
that's a good choice.
Or Pip, probably.
Yeah, Pip's pretty good.
Yeah.
Just all very pretty good.
Just solely because of the like more full experiences to give the full award to, I guess. Anyway, I'll do it. So that is
so those are all the things you can play if you buy Dreams this week.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by Dreams. We're just trying to do our part to promote.
We're trying to be,
since they're not promoting Dreams themselves very well. So
well, not from what we've seen.
Well, no, I don't see any goddamn adverts. Not really tweeting out much about it or whatever else. No, I haven't seen anything on socials. The game's out in a couple of days. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, obviously the community is quite large. Like,
yeah,
in dreams already.
Yeah.
Like there's like YouTube channels like of playing dreams, devoted to different dreams. Yeah, so you can, if you don't want to buy dreams and you want to check out some footage, you can go over there.
Yeah.
On YouTube, just search.
Do that.
That's it.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to playing more. I'm looking forward to playing through the Meteorological official quote unquote campaign thing when that drops. I think it's called like Artie's Dream or something like that. Is the name of that story, something along those lines.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that more next week, obviously. But that'll do it. Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Platinum Explosion. You can follow us on Twitter by heading to explosionnetwork.com/Twitter. You can suggest topics or send in questions for the show by emailing mail@explosionnetwork.com with the subject line Platinum Explosion. And until next week, remember that every trophy counts. Hey, don't forget you can subscribe to the show wherever you're currently listening, and you can drop a review if you can. Find more great shows like this and more content over at explosionnetwork.com, and please consider supporting us for as little as $1 over on our Ko-fi page by heading to explosionnetwork.com/support. Thanks for listening.